the world's pop music channel. It's UPop.29 across this planet on WorldSpace satellite radio in America on XM, 134 countries on Earth, AOL, DirecTV. It's Ted Kelly, satellite radio's longest-running breakfast show. And we always love to turn you on to cool things that are happening, especially since we just came off the soundtrack of your life on WorldSpace and XM, where we take you through the movies, the movie music that was so important to some great motion pictures that you've seen around the world. And one of those movies that was featured on our channels was A Bronx Tale, going back to the early 1990s. A Bronx Tale, the motion picture, came out of a one-man play that was created by Chazz Palminteri, and we're very lucky to have him on the phone at a perfect time because A Bronx Tale has actually come back to Broadway, and it is currently on Broadway at what theater? The Walter Kerr Theater, right, Chazz?
Yes, the Walter Kerr Theater, yes.
Say hi to the world, Chazz Palminteri.
Hi, this is Chazz Palminteri saying hi to everyone.
There it is. Perfect, just like that. Academy Award nominee, brilliant writer, brilliant performer, and it's great to have you on the show. I got to share something with you, Chazz. I'm here with John Dowling. John, say hi to Chazz.
Hi, Chazz.
Hi, John.
Back in '93, there was an opportunity. I was actually on my way to a studio that you were going to talk to you about the movie, because you were on your way up to WCBS-FM in New York.
Right. For
an interview. This is going back, 14 years, so you may not even remember this, but you were up there with Don K. Reed, CBS-FM and Don K. Reed. They aided, I guess, Tribeca Films or something with the music soundtrack.
Well, we used to listen, Bob and myself, we used to listen to that channel a lot because that's where all the oldies were.
Right.
And so whenever we would hear a song that we really liked, we said, wow, what was the name of that song? We would call the station and say, what was the name of that song? and Don K. Reed would tell us. So, we really try to work very hard putting the music in that.
And music is so important to movies. But what we want to talk about is what gave birth to that movie, the one-man play that is now back on Broadway. Now, you had done the play for how many runs? A couple of years before the movie was made?
No, I did it for a good 6 months in Los Angeles, then I did it for 4 months in New York, and then I closed it. Basically, when I performed it, everybody went crazy. I mean, it became the hottest property in Hollywood since Rocky, and everybody wanted to do it. Every studio director, producer. But they didn't want me. They wanted to put a star in the role of Sonny, and they said, "Look, as great as you are, I'm sorry, nobody knows you." And I was this actor and working on the New York stage for years. And I said, "Well, this is my break. This is the role I want." And they said no. And I said, "Well, then you're not getting it."
Good.
and then they just kept raising the price from $250 to $5 to $1 million, and I still said no. And I didn't have any money at the time, but then I was very fortunate that Robert De Niro came to see it, and he loved it, and he said, "Look, you should play Sonny, and you should write the screenplay, and I'll play Lorenzo and direct it, and let's do it." And that's how it happened.
And it was a brilliant motion picture, but the words and the crafting of the words for A Bronx Tale, just brilliant. One of our favorite movies, and the music played such a great part in it, and that's why when it came across about the Bronx Tale being extended at the Walter Kerr Theater through February, it's going to be running through the end of February, and then there's Sunday performances that are added that I want to get to, and I know that you only got a couple of minutes, but I wanted to share a couple of different things because we did our Chazz research. We did our Chazz research.
A Bronx Tale, which is De Niro's very impressive directing debut, and the equally impressive writing and starring debut of Chazz Palminteri, who wrote the movie based on his own childhood experiences in the 60s.
Even though you had the movie done and you were on stage in Los Angeles and you had done the show, when you heard Siskel and Ebert talking about the movie, what was that like?
Well, it was very exciting. I mean, for years I would watch them do, their commentaries on movies, and here they are doing a commentary on a movie that I wrote, so it was very exciting.
Palminteri plays the mobster named Sonny in this scene, who hangs on the corner and takes a liking to the film's young hero, De Niro's son, after the kid sees Sonny shoot someone and doesn't squeal.
Is it better to be loved or feared?
That's a good question. It's nice to be both, but it's very difficult. But if I had my choice, I would rather be feared.
And what was one of the lines from the movie, from the play? From the play was wasted talent. Is that it?
Talent, yeah. My father used to tell me that all the time. The saddest thing in life is wasted talent.
Yeah.
When I was a little boy, he wrote it on a little index card and put it in my room, and I still have that card, and I gave it to my son now. That's why a lot of people, a lot of fathers and parents take their children to see the play, like 13, 14 years old, 15, even 12. Because what the play says, it talks about the finding your potential and don't waste your life and make the right choices. So that's why the play is such a hit, and that's why we extended it another 2 weeks. We just wanted people to see it, and I'm very excited by it.
Yeah, and here's the thing: the play, because the movie was so complex, it's so many different characters. I mean, characters that your movie was one of those type of movies that, and there's very few that you could probably count on one hand, or count on 3 fingers, even though you have 5. It's one of his lines. The movies that you could recite the lines from, and you remember the lines in the motion picture. And these complex relationships of these characters on stage. Now check this out, on stage, and this started with your play back when you first had the runs in Los Angeles and New York. Right. It's just you. One man playing 18 parts.
I do the whole movie on stage by myself. That's correct, yeah.
Wow. Now, there's a narration to it. You do a narration, then you go into the characters?
Right, I do a narration, and as I'm narrating, boom, I go into the scenes, and I go into the characters, and I slide back out again, and I go in and out. Actually, the play is very, very funny. The play is even more funny than the movie. Just for I was able to do more things and have more characters. I had so many characters that Bob said, "Gee, there's too many characters in the play. We can't use all of them." So I have a lot of them in the play. Like Jimmy 10-2. They called him Jimmy 10-2 because his feet always pointed like the clock. Like
Jimmy 10-2. Oh, that is great.
Years later, he got shot in the leg, and they called him 20 after. Pretty crazy, and it's really, really fun. But I always have to state that the movie came out as great as it did, and that was really because of Robert De Niro, who directed it. And he's a great artist, and he was so true to my script. And in Hollywood they could mess it up and change it and bring in other people, but Bob was so true, and he just left the script, let the script alone, and just did it the way it was done on stage. In other words, he just brought it out and made it cinematically, and he did an incredible job with it.